And welcome to Business News on Sunrise. My name is Minuafo. Coming up this morning, Data Protection Commission unrelenting in its efforts to ensure compliance as it arrests 4 companies for breaches.
The Attorney General's office is aware of this raid and will be processed for court. Whatever happens after, as the law says, it's either they are fined or they are imprisoned or both.
Also, Food and Beverages Association of Ghana serves notice of a 20% increase in the prices of food and beverages from September 1.
Maybe there will be an increase between 15% to 20%, not 25%.
Plus, fuel prices projected to go up again from tomorrow at the local pumps. Now, the details of our stories. The Data Protection Commission says it is unrelenting in its efforts to ensure compliance with the Data Protection Act 2012, Act 843. This comes after staff of 4 companies in Accra have been picked up by the police for data breaches. Michael Lugbodu has the rest of the story.
The companies are Hisense Group, Mawako Fast Food, Quick Credit and Investment Microcredit Limited, and legal firm Ajabeng Akresi & Co. They were cited for data subject complaint breaches and for contravening sections 17, 56, 80, and 82 of the Act, and hence will be made to face sanctions.
The Attorney General's office is aware of this raid and will be processed for court. Whatever happens after, as the law says, it's either they are fined or they are imprisoned or both are implemented on them.
The Commission says it is bent on enforcing the law to ensure sanity in the space.
If you happen not to be visited this week, it doesn't mean that we are never coming. We will eventually come to you. So come to us, do the needful to avoid the reputational loss and also the consequential potential financial loss through claim for compensations or fines and sanctions through court.
The Data Protection Act 2012, Act 843, outlines what constitutes lawful processing, exempt processing, the scope and duties of data controllers, data processors, functions of the Data Protection Commission, and data subjects' rights. It balances the need to ensure privacy rights with the rights of the state to remain inviolable, maintain law and order, function effectively, and protect its citizens effectively.
That was Michael Ogbodu's report. In more stories, the Food and Beverages Association of Ghana is warning of a 20% increase in the prices of food and beverages in the country from September 2023. According to the association, this is due to the new Excise Tax Amendment Act, which is scheduled to come into effect from September 1.
In an effort to boost revenue generation, the government introduced 3 new taxes in its 2023 budget, including the Excise Tax Amendment Act 2023. The Excise Tax Stamp Amendment Act was expanded to include fruit juices, all sweetened beverages, and tobacco products. Manufacturers and importers of affected products have been instructed to comply beginning on September 1, 2023. Consequently, the Food and Beverages Association of Ghana has warned Ghanaians to expect an average of 20% increase in the price of sweetened beverages.
With the new ones that are coming in, the excise duties that are going to be enforced, if it does, what is going to happen is that you will see an increase, a marginal increase of goods and services also coming up again, because you realize that that 20%, depending on the imposition of percentage that government has imposed on them, you realize maybe there will be an increase between 15% to 20%, not 25%, as government has imposed. Government will really have to reconsider the fruit juices coming on board. Either they have to charge something, but then the rates of 20% that they are imposing, because they term it as a sweetener. I don't know how fruit juices that had zero sugar in them should warrant paying taxes on them.
That was Shadrach Isufi's report read by Michael Ogbodu. Also, an economist with the University of Ghana, Dr. Edu Owusu-Sarkodie, has kicked against the implementation of zero financing of the government's budget by the Bank of Ghana. Dr. Sarkodie maintained that looking at the current structure of the economy and the financing challenges facing the economy, an increase in the 5% ceiling of the financing budget should be considered.
The government is doing a debt restructuring program, and it will be a challenging situation for the government to raise additional bonds, even from the domestic market. The central bank is also the lender of last resort. And so we should allow some room of financing from the central bank. We can go back to the famous 0 to 5%, that's up to 5%, financing from the central bank. And even if it becomes necessary for the government to go beyond the 5%, the governor can write to parliamentarians for the parliamentarians to give them the power or to give them the mandate to increase the ceiling, even if it becomes necessary that they should go beyond the 5%. We want to suggest that some amount of financing should be necessary.
You heard Dr. Edu Owusu-Sarkodie, an economist at the University of Ghana. Away from that, there seems to be no respite in sight as fuel prices are projected to go up by an average of 5% from Wednesday, August 16. The Chamber of Petroleum Consumers Ghana attributes the projection to increase in benchmark prices of petroleum products on the world market. Eben Ejekum-Boateng has more in the following report.
Indications are that pump prices of petrol and diesel are likely to increase averagely by about 5.7% over the current main price of 12 cedis 45 pesos per litre across the country, whilst LPG prices increase by about 11.9%. Prices of finished products on the international market have shot up averagely around 11% for both petrol and diesel. Crude price has been increased by 6.79% from the main price of $80 per barrel to $86 per barrel. However, the cedi has been relatively stable against the dollar. From the projection of possible upward adjustment in prices at the local pumps, inflation is expected to continue the soaring trend. This could force the central bank to increase policy rate at its next meeting in an effort to manage inflation.
That was Eben Ejekum-Boateng's report. And CEO of Eureka Energy Solutions, Dr. Yusuf Sulemana, has urged government to work to ensure Tema Oil Refinery becomes fully operational in order to refine the crude locally. He noted toll will ensure value along the value chain in the petroleum sector that will create sustainable jobs while saving the country huge amounts of money the country uses to import finished crude products. Dr. Sulemana's remarks come on the back of the resignation of the MD of TOR.
The inefficiencies are just emanating from the fact that we haven't had a stable leadership. If you have a stable leadership and stay off unnecessary political interference and give the leader some KPIs and key deliverables within a time frame for the leader to execute that. If the leader doesn't do that, then we have every right to sack the leader. We haven't done that. In fact, refining is key to our national security because it's equally linked to job security of populace. Unemployment is a national security issue. As a nation, we haven't thought about that. If you develop your oil and gas industry well, the kind of job creation is enormous. It cuts across every discipline. So why are we doing that to our own selves? I want to urge that we should begin considering unemployment as a national security for the nation. And if you have that in mind, then it will be in our best interest to let every manufacturing infrastructure to run. And TOR specifically, apart from the national security issue I'm talking about, it is key to our energy security. I've always mentioned that look at the quantum that we use to import finished products into the country. If the refinery is to run and run profitable, and it can be profitable if you want it to be.
That was Dr. Yusuf Sulemana, CEO of Eureka Energy Solutions. Now take a listen to how the city is faring against major trading currencies and how some of our key commodities are faring on the global market.
On the interbank foreign exchange market, where banks trade amongst themselves, the dollar recorded no price change, selling at 11 cedis. The British pound also recorded no price change, selling at 14 cedis. The euro is selling at 12 cedis, 1 peso, recording no price change. However, be guided that these figures will be higher at a forex bureau near you. On the global commodities market, price of cocoa is down by 0.03%, selling at $3,357 per ton. Price of Brent crude oil is up by 0.47%, selling now at $87 per barrel. While the price of an ounce of gold is up by 0.07%, selling at about $1,914.
That was a trip to the forex and commodities markets. That will be all for Business News on Sunrise. My name is Menua Fo. For more business stories, please check out our website, 3news.com. Stay tuned. Sports news is up next.
What does winning mean to you? For Yao, it's seeing the joy in his mother's eyes after he provided her with a state-of-the-art kitchen to cook her signature Unapo Jollof.
It's a mega win.
For Ajua, it's turning her passion for photography into a successful career while providing her children with the best education possible.
It's a mega win.
For Kwame, it's becoming his own boss and starting his music business.
It's a mega win.
Whatever winning means to you, Mega 6 Lotto can help you achieve it in grand style. With only 49 numbers to choose from, the odds are always in your favor. Play with as little as 2 Ghana cedis for a chance to win millions of cedis every week. Download our Android and iOS apps. Dial *266# or visit mega6lotto.com to make a mega impact on your life and the lives of others. Mega 6 Lotto. Mega winnings, mega impact. The Mega 6 Lotto is regulated and monitored by the NLA.
3FM 92.7.
Hello, good morning, and welcome to Sunrise Sports on 3FM 92.7. My name is Kelvin Owusu Ansa. Well, there's a lot coming up today, but let's give thanks to our sponsors. Mega 6 Lotto, 6 numbers can change your life, and I know that yesterday 6 numbers changed the lives of a lot of people. What would you do if you won 1 million Ghana cedis today with only 49 numbers to choose from? Mega 6 Lotto is offering you the opportunity to win exciting prizes. Don't forget to play before 5 p.m. every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So a lot of people won on Monday. Wednesday, tomorrow, make sure you play before 5 p.m. and you can play by dialing *266# or download the iOS or Android apps on mega6lotto.com to play. Mega 6 Lotto is approved and regulated by the NLA. Well, let's begin from the Athletics Association of Ghana, and they have released an unpleasant information. Well, many haven't been happy on hearing this, but that is the current news going on. High jumper Rose Amwenima Yeboah and sprinter Safo Ansa are going to miss the World Athletics Championships that is coming up later this month. And according to the statement, we are sorry to inform the general public that Rose Yeboah and Safo Ansa would not participate in the 2023 World Championship in Budapest due to visa issues. So that is the current situation for our athletes. Very unpleasant news, but we have to cope with it. So Ghana shot by 2 athletes. Very unfortunate to know that these athletes would not be participating. We'll be following up for a lot more details in our subsequent updates. Now, UK-based Ghanaian boxer Sejima, popularly known as Freezy McBones, has indicated that he will be representing Ghana for the upcoming Olympic Games qualifiers to be held in Paris, France 2024. He revealed this through his official Twitter handle that he is going to represent Ghana. According to him, he's already training hard to make sure his dream of representing his country becomes a reality. I have been called on to represent my country, Ghana, at the upcoming 2024 Olympic Games in Paris, France. This will commence after the Africa qualification bouts next month in Dakar. So, Freezy McBones ready to fight for Ghana. Now staying with boxing, and promoter Eddie Hearn has lashed out at Tyson Fury for choosing easy bouts as against the fight Anthony Joshua has been facing. This follows the calls for a fight between the two Brits who have failed to agree on a date to fight.
I mean, when you look at the heavyweight division right now, Usyk is an outstanding fighter. Is he overly entertaining in the ring? He's a genius, but, you know, Tyson Fury... his last fight was against Derek Chisora, and he's now fighting a guy from MMA who's never had a boxing match before. So he's not really doing a lot for the heavyweight division, is he? Deontay Wilder hasn't boxed for 18 months. Andy Ruiz hasn't boxed for a year. So, I mean, that's the first time I've actually thought about it like that. So Josh is active. He's had 2 heavyweight fights in the space of, 4 months? And he wants to fight Deontay Wilder. So I think this is a good run for AJ. I mean, it's definitely the most active we've ever seen him, especially through COVID. He was down to nearly 1 fight a year, so that's 2 fights in 4 months, and he wants to get back in the ring ASAP.
Well, that is from Eddie Hearn. Now, there have been raging concerns about the tax on betting in Ghana. The 10% seems to be a huge amount being taken from bet winnings from Panthers. Eric Kampoff raises several concerns on this issue here. That's last Sunday on Sports Ultras.
They're trying to make it look like this is supposed to, in a way, curb betting. But let me tell you that in the past 4 years...
Actually, that was a narrative before this whole thing started. I remember now.
Yeah, in the past 4 years, government have made 450 million Ghana cedis from betting companies alone.
Through licensing?
Yeah, 450 million Ghana cedis. And so, why would you turn around and take up a poster that makes it look like you hate this thing? This devil is the same thing that is feeding you and giving you the excess money.
Yeah.
And the truth is, you want to make more because you've realized that there's a bigger market out there. You realize that it was just one section of the betting industry.
They were dealing with the handlers.
Yeah.
And not the Panthers.
Now they are going to the real source, the people who actually give these betting companies money. And look, I think it's unfair on 2 parts because, as I said, these companies are already renewing their license fees, paying taxes, and a lot of the discussion doesn't always factor the fact that the new laws also include the betting firms. They also have to now pay an extra 20% from the revenue that they make. It's not just about...
If they can't stand it, they'll close shopping.
Yeah, so we've had one betting... I mean, I wouldn't mention their name. I think they've already pulled out. They said, look, Ghanaian market, I beg, it's okay. Don't bet again. Because here's the case where you are killing whatever it is from 2 parts. The betting companies cannot sustain themselves anymore. And now you are cutting down the market because you say people should pay 10% of their winners. Look, you don't need to do economics to understand the meaning of tax or what tax is. But the whole point of tax is that when you make an income, government expects that, you are using our resources. You are part of this country. And so just give us something small that we use to maintain the country. Yeah.
So that is from Ray Kompoff. Now let's get to the FIFA Women's World Cup and a clash of styles as free-scoring Spain plays set-piece specialist Sweden for a place in the final at the Eden Park in Auckland, New Zealand. Match begins in the next 25 minutes. Here's a preview to the game.
Sweden march on to the semi-finals. A place in the final of the 2023 Women's World Cup will be up for grabs when Spain face Sweden at Eden Park on Tuesday. Spain outlasted the Netherlands over 120 minutes to seal their spots in the final 4, while Sweden edged out Japan in their quarter-final tie. Spain are now preparing to appear in the major tournament semi-final for the first time since reaching the Final Four in the 1997 European Championships, and they will be determined to change that feat on Tuesday. Sweden also pulled through another tough test against Japan in the quarterfinals after beating record champions USA in a dramatic penalty shootout. Spain's Laia Codina is a doubt for Tuesday's semi-final tie after being forced off in the second half against the Netherlands. However, coach Peter Gerhardsen may be tempted to select the same starting lineup for the third consecutive game. Sweden have proven against the USA and Japan that they are an adaptable side and with the foundation of a solid defense. Spain's threat going forward could tend to break a defense that has conceded just twice in their last 5 games in order to book a place in the Women's World Cup final.
For Spain, the game is opening up. It's Paraguay.
So in the next 25 minutes, the game will begin. A showdown in Sydney with either co-host Australia or European champions England for the chance to be crowned a first-time World Cup winner will be the prize for today's winner. Now moving away to men's football, Manchester United survived a late scare as Rafael Varane's second half goal saw them edge past an impressive Wolverhampton Wanderers to get their Premier League campaign off to a winning start at the Old Trafford. Varane headed home from close range with 14 minutes remaining to ensure an unconvincing display from Erik ten Hag's men ended in a 1-0 victory that was barely deserved. Erik ten Hag on the performance of Manchester United.
First, I'm happy with the 3 points, and after I think a good pre-season. But you will see, league is always different, and tonight it was a fight, and we have to take that fight. So it was a tough game, and then you win 1-0. So very happy, clean sheet. We score 1 goal, of course. I would like to see better football, better composure on the ball. I think we can be better. It was a little bit nervous and not necessary.
So that is from Erik ten Hag, Manchester United boss, but he had to speak on the 2 debutants, Mason Mount, who was overly poor, and Andre Onana, who was very impressive until the late minute where he nearly cost a penalty.
I think both really good levels. Both you can see why we took them, why they we were so willing to get them into Old Trafford, to our club, because they really contribute to the team performance.
Well, it looked like Wolves would have had the opportunity to equalize from the penalty spot at the death when goalkeeper Andre Onana appeared to have clattered into Sasa Kalajic, but referee Simon Hooper waved away protest and VAR backed his decision. Gary O'Neill, who is the coach for Wolves, has spoken on the penalty incident, admitting that the former Premier League referee said he was totally astounded that penalty wasn't given.
Having just spoken to Jonathan Moss, and fair play to him to come straight out, and he just apologised and said it was a blatant penalty and should have been given. So fair play to Jonathan for coming out saying that it was a clear and obvious error, and he can't believe that the on-field ref didn't give it. Can't believe that VAR didn't intervene. Probably made me feel worse actually, because once you know you're right, feel worse about leaving with nothing.
So that is it there from Gary O'Neill. Now moving away, Chelsea have managed to get the player that they wanted, Moises Caicedo, and he's completed his move to the London club from Brighton and Hove Albion. After a series of negotiations between the two clubs, the player was unveiled on Monday afternoon after successfully completing his medicals earlier in the day. The 21-year-old joins as potentially the most expensive Premier League signing with a fee of £100 million, worth £15 million in add-ons. Caicedo has signed an 8-year contract with the Blues with an option to extend for 1 more year to make it 9 years. Now, Southampton youngster Romeo Lavia has also decided to join Chelsea despite the approach from Liverpool. The 19-year-old Belgian midfielder who was wanted by the Reds had initially seen a bid of £45 million rejected before the bidding war against Chelsea for Brighton and Hove Albion's Caicedo. Liverpool, however, missed out on the Ecuadorian, who emphasized his willingness to join Chelsea. Now they are losing out on Lavia too. Now to Arsenal, and they are continuing to assess the knee injury suffered by defender Jurrien Timber, the latest player to have joined the Gunners from Ajax in the Netherlands. Well, they are fears he has sustained a significant injury that could sideline him for an extended period. Now staying on Arsenal, and Arteta and Edu need to buy a quality centre forward if they want to stand any chance of Premier League success. This is the thought of Yao Ofosulabi.
Look,
Man City have had Yaya Toure score 20 goals from midfield.
Exactly.
Who in this Arsenal midfield can score 20 goals for Arsenal? I mean, even 10.
Yeah.
You understand? And those are the problems. If Arsenal gets a goal scorer, even someone like Ivan Toney, they can actually win the Premier League.
Yeah.
But you see, in the second half when Forest looked like they were pushing and pushing, and Arsenal were getting minute chances, those chances would have been goals if they had a striker. You understand? And that's where the problem is. Look, United, for everything Rashford did last season, still could not lock it down because there was no centre forward, a figurehead who was, connecting the play from midfield into the.
It was Chelsea's problem anyway.
You understand?
For all things said against Chelsea, it was that they were creating chances and couldn't score.
And that's where the problem is. So usually, having a number 9 is very important. The thing is, people would say, "Oh, Real Madrid do not have it, or City have done it in the past." But these guys are different. I mean, yesterday Jude Bellingham is scoring, and Jude Bellingham will score more than 10 goals from midfield.
Well, of course,
and that would show up the numbers. So,
of course, it will.
I mean, I feel like Arsenal really need a centre forward. But all in all, the midfield is really good. Partey Rice will be one of the most solid midfields in the Premier League this season. But let's just see how they're going to grow from game to game, and then also how they're going to tackle some of the big games, really. Because last season, for instance, that game they lost at Old Trafford, I felt like they should have gotten more from that game. The game they drew against Southampton was a game they should have gotten.
So that is from Yao for Solar. Now moving away from that, West Ham United have signed midfielder James Ward-Prowse from Southampton for a fee thought to be in the region of £30 million. The England international, who is 28, has joined the Hammers on a 4-year deal. Now, Real Madrid have also signed Spain goalkeeper Kepa Arrizabalaga from Chelsea on a season-long loan. The 28-year-old will cover for Real Madrid's regular number 1, Thibaut Courtois, who missed most parts of the season with an anterior cruciate ligament injury. Kepa has made 163 appearances for Chelsea since joining from Athletic Bilbao for £71 million in August 2018, the highest fee ever paid for a goalkeeper. He faces competition at the Blues. From Summerside and Robert Sanchez. Now to Paris Saint-Germain, and they have agreed a deal to sell Brazilian forward Neymar to Saudi Pro League side Al Hilal for a fee understood to be in the region of €90 million plus add-ons. The transfer is subject to the 31-year-old completing a medical and all necessary paperwork. Neymar, who joined PSG for a world record fee of €222 million in 2017, missed the league opener on Saturday. Here is Juan Arango's thoughts on the move by Neymar to the Saudis.
Was it the best decision for his footballing career? Well, maybe not. But if you look at it from his own personal standpoint, which is the standpoint that does end up overriding everything else, you'd say that is the best decision for him. In terms of winning the Ballon d'Or, in terms of winning a Champions League, no, it's not. But then again, at this stage of his career, and it's happened to many Brazilians before, we can probably delve into that as well. Maybe at that point in their life, at that point in their careers, they're always looking to say, hey, you know what? Maybe I don't need this as much as I used to. The money is great. The money is going to be great. But maybe I need something else different. And that's respectable if you look at it from a human standpoint.
That is from Neymar Juan Arango, but he's also spoken about the inability of Neymar to send Brazil to the World Cup, and he still has an opportunity to do that in 2026 when he turns 34 at the next World Cup that will be played in the US, in Mexico, and Canada.
I mean, it's a good chance. I mean, he'll have a good team going into 2026, or at least if you look at it right now, you'll have a younger team, a better team. Compared to 2022, and that's pretty, that's a pretty brave statement to make. But when you start looking at his role and his motivation, we're gonna have to see where he's at, because maybe 2 years ends up being good for him, knowing how many injuries he's suffered, knowing what he's been able to do, and knowing that right now at this stage of his career, he's the one that's making the decisions, and solely him. It's no longer his father having that much influence like he used to at one point of his career.
So that is it there from Juan Arango on Neymar and Brazil. Now, Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain has joined Besiktas on a 3-year deal. The 29-year-old England international was a free agent after leaving Liverpool this summer following 7 years at Anfield. Besiktas revealed that Chamberlain would receive a net signing fee of 1.5 million euros and a guaranteed net payment of 2.5 million euros per season. Well, that'll be all we have for you today on Sunrise Sports on 3FM 92.7. My name is Kelvin Owusu, but let's give thanks to Mega 6 Lotto. Only 6 numbers can change your life. Yes, 6 numbers can change your life. What would you do if you won 1 million Ghana cedis today with only 49 numbers to choose from? Mega 6 Lotto is offering you the chance to win exciting prizes. Don't forget to play before 5 p.m. every Monday, Wednesdays, and Friday. Well, all you need to do is to dial *266# or download the iOS and Android apps on mega6lotto.com to play. Mega 6 Lotto is approved and regulated by the NLA. Have a brilliant day. Today is Tuesday and it's going to be an awesome week. Sunrise continues, but DJ Abiam certainly is around to give you the very best of music.